Soft click of the camera shutter echoed through the quiet studio. Jay Park adjusted his lens, watching the Kim family pose with practiced precision. Sung Kim stood tall, his crisp white shirt pressed and perfect, one hand resting gently on his wife Yoon's shoulder. Yoon wore a pale blue dress that matched the studio's backdrop, her smile carefully controlled but warm. Their children, Woo and Yuna, sat in front of their parents. Woo, 8 years old, sat cross-legged with the confidence of a child who knew exactly how to behave during a family photo. Yuna, 6, had a different energy. Her eyes seemed to catch the light in an unusual way, something Jay couldn't quite explain. The studio was a typical photography space. Clean white walls, soft lighting, minimal decorations. Reflective panels stood at careful angles, designed to capture the perfect family moment. Jay had taken hundreds of these photos. Families came and went, each wanting to capture their perfect memory. But something felt different about the Kim family. Jay watched through his viewfinder as Yuna shifted, slightly. Her movement was too smooth, too calculated for a 6-year-old. Her eyes, for just a millisecond, seemed to reflect light in a way that wasn't quite human. A shimmer, like the briefest hint of something beneath her skin. "Hold still," Jay said, softly, his finger hovering over the camera button. Sung Kim's hand tightened almost imperceptibly on Yoon's shoulder. Yoon's smile remained perfect, but her eyes flickered, just for a moment, to Yuna. The little girl blinked. Something moved beneath her skin, a tiny silvery thread that disappeared as quickly as it appeared. Jay's professional smile froze. His finger pressed the shutter. Click. The photograph would change everything. Woo remained perfectly still, a model child in every sense. But Yuna was different. Her eyes held a depth that didn't match her age. They seemed to look not just at the camera but through it. Through Jay. Through the walls of the studio. "We're done," Sung said quietly. His voice carried a tone that wasn't a request. Jay nodded, his professional demeanor hiding the confusion churning inside him. Something was wrong. Something was different about this family. As the Kims gathered their things, Jay noticed how synchronized they moved. No bumping, no accidental touches. Perfect coordination. Too perfect. Yuna paused at the studio door. For a split second, her eyes met Jay's. There was something ancient in that gaze. Something that didn't belong to a 6-year-old girl. Then she smiled. A normal, childlike smile that made Jay question everything he'd just seen. The studio door closed. Jay looked down at his camera. One photograph, one moment captured. A family that looked perfect on the surface but held secrets just beneath their skin. He didn't know it yet, but that single photograph would become the key to understanding something much larger. Something that would change everything humans thought they knew about themselves, about their potential, about their future. The photograph sat in the camera, waiting to be developed, waiting to reveal its secrets. Would you like me to continue or elaborate on any part of this section? Jay's hands trembled slightly as he transferred the digital files to his computer. The studio was empty now, shadows stretching across the white floors. Each image loaded slowly, revealing details he hadn't noticed during the photo shoot. The first few photos looked normal. Perfect family pose, matching smiles. But then, on the fourth image, something caught his eye. A tiny, almost invisible silvery line traced along Yuna's neck. Not a camera glitch, not a trick of light. Something real, something impossible. He zoomed in. The line seemed to move, breathe, like a living thread beneath her skin. Jay had worked as a photographer for 15 years. He knew cameras. He knew images. This was different. This was something else entirely. He pulled out his phone and called. His old military friend, Park Junho, who now worked in a classified government research department. "I need you to look at something," Jay said quietly. Junho arrived at the studio within 2 hours. No questions asked. His eyes scanned the images, growing darker with each moment. "Where did you take these?" Junho's voice was controlled. Too controlled. Jay explained the photo shoot. Junho's fingers traced the strange silvery line on Yuna's neck. "This isn't a camera error," he muttered. The line moved again. Subtle. Almost alive. Junho made a quick call. Spoke in low, rapid Korean. Words Jay couldn't fully catch. Something about subject and genetic markers. Outside the studio window, a black sedan parked silently. No license plate. No identifying marks. "We need those image files," Junho said, suddenly. His hand reached for Jay's computer, but Jay was faster. He had already created backup copies. Something was happening. Something big. And he was right in the middle of it. The silvery line on Yuna's neck seemed to pulse, like a heartbeat. But not human. Not entirely. Junho's phone buzzed. A message. His face went blank. "You saw nothing," he said to Jay. "Not a request. A statement." But Jay had already seen everything. The photograph of the Kim family sat on the computer screen. Perfect. Normal. Except for that one detail. The detail that would change everything. A tiny, living thread beneath a 6-year-old girl's skin. Waiting. Watching. Breathing. "Would you like me to continue or elaborate on any part of this section?" 3 days after the photo shoot, Jay noticed strange cars parked near his apartment. Black sedans, tinted windows. No license plates. He knew something was wrong. His computer files about the Kim family had mysteriously been copied. Someone wanted those images. Someone powerful. Junho called late one night. "Stop investigating," he warned. His voice shook slightly. Some things are better left unknown. But Jay couldn't stop. The image of Yuna, that strange silvery line beneath her skin, haunted him. Research revealed minimal information about the Kim family. No deep social media presence. No detailed school records. Just basic government documents that seemed too clean, too perfect. A background check showed Sung Kim worked for a research facility specializing in advanced biological technologies, classified projects, high security clearance. Yoon Kim's background was even more mysterious. No employment history before her marriage, no family records, just blank spaces where information should exist. The children, Woo and Yuna, had medical records that raised more questions than answers. Unusual blood test results. Genetic markers that didn't match standard human DNA. Someone wanted these children hidden, protected. Late one evening, an encrypted email arrived in Jay's inbox. No sender, just coordinates and a time. He knew he should delete it, walk away. But curiosity burned inside him. The location was an abandoned research facility outside Seoul. Cold concrete buildings, razor wire fences. Complete silence. Jay arrived at midnight. His hands shook as he approached the main building. A single light burned in a distant window. Inside, scattered documents told a strange story. Genetic adaptation research, human enhancement programs, preparation for something unknown. Photographs, similar to the Kim family portrait, were pinned to a massive wallboard. Dozens of families, each with children showing similar strange characteristics. A massive map tracked these families, spread across different countries, connected by invisible lines. Something massive was happening, something beyond normal human understanding. And the Kim family was just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Jay realized he had stumbled into something dangerous, something that could change everything humans knew about themselves. The silvery line beneath Yuna's skin suddenly made sense, not a mistake. Not an error, an evolution, a preparation. For what, he didn't know, but he was determined to find out. As he turned to leave, a shadow moved behind him. Someone else was in the facility, and they knew he was here. "Would you like me to continue or elaborate on any part of this section?" The shadow moved closer. Jay's heart raced. Heavy footsteps echoed through the abandoned research facility. "Mr. Park," a calm voice called. "We need to talk." A tall woman stepped from the darkness. Military uniform. No name tag. Cold eyes that seemed to see right through him. "How much do you know?" she asked. Jay said nothing. His hand slowly reached into his jacket pocket. The woman smiled. Not a friendly smile. A calculated one. "The Kim children are more than you understand," she continued. "They're not a mistake. They're a solution." Outside, more vehicles arrived. Silent. Coordinated. The woman, Colonel Kang, her stance suggested military rank, explained something extraordinary. The silvery lines Jay had discovered were actually advanced genetic adaptations, designed to help humans survive coming environmental changes. "Changes?" Jay asked. "Not just environmental," she replied. "Cosmic." Junho appeared beside her. He looked defeated, resigned. "We've been preparing," Junho said, "for decades." The facility's lights flickered. Old computer screens came alive, displaying complex genetic sequences, star charts, biological transformation data. Jay realized the Kim children weren't just unique. They were prototypes. "Humanity needs to evolve," Colonel Kang explained. "Not through technology, through biology." Suddenly, a sound outside. Something powerful. Something not human. The windows vibrated. Something was approaching. Jay noticed strange markings on the walls, ancient symbols mixed with modern scientific diagrams. They seemed to pulse with an internal energy. "You've seen too much," Colonel Kang said. "You have two choices." She outlined them clearly. Join their research program. Disappear completely. The facility's walls seemed to breathe. Moving. Alive. Something was coming. Something that would change everything humans thought they knew about themselves, about their future, about their potential. The confrontation had begun, and Jay Park was at the center of it all. "Would you like me to continue or elaborate on any part of this section?" The world looked different now. Jay understood something massive was happening. Humanity wasn't just evolving. It was being prepared. Colonel Kang revealed the truth quietly. Generations of children like Wu and Yuna were being carefully integrated into society, each with unique genetic modifications, each designed to survive something coming. "What's coming?" Jay asked. She showed him maps, star charts, complex biological data. Earth was changing. Not just climate, not just environment. Something deeper, something fundamental. The Kim children represented humanity's insurance policy, genetic adaptations that could survive extreme conditions, cosmic radiation, temperature changes, potential extraterrestrial encounters, Junho explained further. These children could breathe different atmospheres, withstand radiation levels that would kill normal humans, communicate through methods beyond normal human understanding, a global network of modified children, spread across countries, waiting, preparing. The buying? Silvery lines Jay had discovered were actually advanced biological communication networks, living technology integrated directly into human DNA. "We didn't create this," Colonel Kang said. "We're just managing it." Outside the facility, strange lights danced across the sky. Not stars, not satellites, something else. Jay realized the photograph he took was more than just a family portrait. It was evidence of humanity's next evolutionary step. The Kim family wasn't an accident. They were a carefully designed blueprint for survival, for adaptation, for something bigger than anyone could imagine. Yuna's strange eyes, the silvery lines, the perfect coordination, all pieces of a massive planetary preparation. "What do the children know?" Jay asked. "Everything," Junho replied. "And nothing." They were conscious, but not in ways humans traditionally understood consciousness. Living sensors, living adaptations, the first wave of humanity's transformation. As dawn broke, Jay understood his role. He wasn't just a photographer anymore. He was a witness to something extraordinary, to humanity's hidden potential. The larger truth wasn't about alien invasion. It was about human evolution. and it had already begun. One family photograph at a time. Would you like me to elaborate on any part of this section?